I cheated less than a year into marriage and destroyed everything. I destroyed my marriage less than a year after getting married, and I'm still living with the consequences every single day. There isn't a morning where I wake up and don't immediately feel the weight of what I did. It's like this quiet, constant pressure in my chest that never really goes away. It just changes intensity depending on the day. My wife and I had been together for almost 10 years before we finally got married. A decade. We grew up together in a lot of ways, shared milestones, supported each other through career changes, family issues, and everything in between. From the outside, we looked solid, stable, like one of those couples that just made sense. But looking back now, there were cracks long before the wedding. I just chose not to see them clearly. Most of those cracks revolved around money. She owed me thousands over time, small amounts at first, then bigger ones. Credit card debt kept growing. Klarna and buy now, pay later balances stacked up. And there were times she'd quietly take money from our joint account without telling me. The first few times it happened, we talked about it. Then it happened again and again. Eventually, it became this uncomfortable normal that I stopped challenging as much as I should have. Every time I checked the account and saw money missing, I felt that same mix of anxiety and frustration. But instead of confronting it properly, I'd just absorb it, tell myself it wasn't worth another argument, and move on. That became a pattern, something I'm now realizing I did in almost every area of our relationship. I refused to buy a house until she was debt-free. That was my line. We agreed on a target, April 2026. It felt like a realistic goal at the time, something we could both work toward. But despite that agreement, the spending didn't really stop. She went on 3 trips abroad: New York, Spain, and Boston. Each one came with excitement, photos, stories, and then later, quiet financial stress. During the Boston trip, I noticed larger than usual amounts missing from our joint account again. I remember sitting there, staring at the numbers on my phone, feeling that familiar sinking feeling in my stomach. In December, we had an argument that stuck with me more than I admitted at the time. She sold games to CEX, games she had originally bought on finance from Curry's, because she was short on money. It wasn't just about the games. It felt like proof that nothing was really changing, that we were stuck in a loop. There were other issues too. Long stretches without intimacy, weeks where we barely connected physically or emotionally. I found myself doing most of the cooking, most of the housework, trying to keep things running while she withdrew more and more into gaming and TV. She struggled with anxiety. I knew that, and I didn't want to minimize it. I encouraged therapy, suggested ways we could get help together. But those conversations often turned into arguments. Eventually, I stopped pushing as hard, not because things were better, but because I didn't want the conflict. That's probably one of the biggest things I've learned about myself. I avoid conflict to a fault. I don't address problems head-on. I let them build quietly until something breaks. Around October, something shifted in me. I realized I wasn't happy anymore. Not in a dramatic, explosive way, just a slow, creeping awareness. At the same time, something outside the relationship started changing. I felt more confident socially. I was talking to people more easily, laughing more, feeling less closed off than I had in years. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was growing as a person, and the contrast between that and how I felt at home became impossible to ignore. That's when I became closer with a colleague at work. At first, it was completely innocent. We bonded over music, films, TV shows, things I felt like I hadn't really shared with my wife in a long time. Conversations were easy, natural. I looked forward to them in a way I hadn't felt in a while. I did find her attractive, but I kept things friendly. I even talked openly about my wife in the beginning, almost like I was trying to prove to her and to myself that everything was fine. When I mentioned this colleague to my wife, she immediately didn't trust her. That reaction created tension almost instantly. Instead of addressing that tension properly, I became more secretive, not necessarily because something was happening yet, but because I didn't want another argument. And that's where the line started to blur. Over time, I started talking to my colleague more and more. I stayed late after work just to spend extra time with her. Conversations got deeper, more personal. I started sharing frustrations about my marriage. Things I should have been addressing directly at home. Work became the place I felt most like myself. Home became something I emotionally checked out from. At some point, I knew what I was doing wasn't right. But instead of stopping, I kept going. It felt easier than facing the reality of my marriage. Eventually, the friendship crossed into an emotional affair. There wasn't one single moment where everything changed. It was gradual, subtle. Then one day, it wasn't subtle anymore. It became physical. I cheated. Even writing that still feels heavy. There's no justification for it, no way to dress it up. I crossed a line I should never have crossed. By the time my wife's birthday came around in December, she already felt the distance. We hadn't been physically intimate for about a month. I went through the motions, bought gifts, decorated the house, tried to act like everything was normal, but nothing about it was normal. That night, she confronted me. I could see it in her face. She already knew something was wrong. When she asked, I didn't fully lie, but I didn't fully tell the truth at first either. I admitted I'd been talking to someone. Then eventually, I admitted we had met privately. The full truth came out piece by piece. She kicked me out of the flat that same night. I remember standing there with a bag, not fully processing what had just happened, but knowing there was no going back from it. The next day, I asked for a divorce. It sounds cold when I say it like that, but at the time, it felt like the only honest thing left to do. Within minutes, she emptied the joint account, and just like that, everything we built over nearly a decade was gone. Looking back even further, I think the wedding itself should have been a warning sign. It didn't feel like a celebration of us. It felt more like something that had to meet expectations. Hers, her family's. There were comments about my family, about how they behaved, even though many of them had left early due to health reasons. I remember feeling uncomfortable that day, out of place, but I ignored it like I ignored everything else. That's the pattern. Ignore, avoid, delay, until it explodes. Now I'm living back with my parents, starting over at 31 in a way I never imagined. I'm rebuilding relationships with family members I hadn't spoken to properly in years. Some have been supportive, others more distant. I lost my wife. I lost most of my friends. Some family connections faded too. The home we built together is no longer mine. As for my colleague, we stepped things back. We're still in contact, but only as friends now. There's still some attraction there, but everything is slower, more cautious. Honestly, part of me doesn't trust myself enough to even know what I should do there. Right now, I'm focusing on therapy. Every week, I sit there trying to understand how I became someone who could do this, how I avoided problems for so long, how I chose betrayal instead of honesty. I don't blame my wife for what happened. Our relationship had issues, serious ones, but cheating was my decision. That's on me. And I carry that with me. The guilt, the shame, the loneliness, it doesn't disappear. It just becomes something I'm learning to live with. The only small positives are the things I've started doing for myself. Running, golf, drawing, reading. Things I either never made time for or never thought I'd enjoy. It's strange. Building a new version of your life while constantly being reminded why the old one ended. I don't know exactly who I'll become after all this, but I know I can't go back to who I was, and maybe that's the only place to start.